biggest thing I've ever done. I think the biggest crush I've ever had in my life. This is going to be a story about a man named Will Poulter. You might know him. He has like funny, weird eyebrows, and he's in We Are the Millers, but love him I love. For 5 years, I learned every single piece of information I could get my hands on about this boy. So to set the scene, it's 2008. I'm in the 8th grade, and my best friend and I would open up her little laptop, and every single piece of information we found about him, we would write down in this little note. And you can imagine, you're like, he's 13, first movie he's ever been in. Not gonna be much information. You're wrong. We started small. I found out his parents' names, his siblings' names, all of their Facebook accounts. His account, which is under a different name. I found out what his birthday is, and I made my friends celebrate his birthday every single year. We got a chocolate lava cake, put a candle in it, and sing him happy birthday. You know who he was, 3,000 miles away. Send help. There's not much going on when you're only 14. But then I find out that he is in a sketch comedy group through like an interview he does in high school. And I'm like, never even heard of sketch comedy. Google, I'm like, I'm interested. I say, I'm inventing a sketch comedy group at my high school, which I do. Then I find out his sketch comedy group is going to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. I say to my parents, any chance to go to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival next summer? I'd make my family go all the way to Scotland for a week. His sketch comedy group performed again, and that same week. You're on the edge of your seats. Is she going to see him in person? Yes. I see him. I'm wearing a gorgeous outfit. Leggings, cardigan, dress. Black headband, ponytail. It is 2010. So I'm waiting outside the theater, quivering. I'm 15. He comes up to me and I do my rehearsed dialogue that I had practiced with my friend over and over. And I was very cool. I didn't say anything like, I know where you live. Nothing like that. Just like very funny show. I also randomly have a sketch comedy group. He goes off to find his parents, which I know are his parents because I know what they look like. I'm like pretty bummed because I'm like, he absolutely did not fall in love with me. Like, he's my husband, but he wasn't like, you're my wife, you know? I'm walking around Scotland pretty bummed, and then I see him. He sees me. He beckons me over. Okay, edge of your seats again. And I go over and I was like, just like on the way to like see this comedian, Jack Whitehall. He's like, that's my favorite comedian. And I'm like, no way. I know, because he said in an interview 3 years ago that was his favorite comedian, and that's the only reason I know who this comedian is, or about comedy at all. I kind of scurry off, I fly back to America, and I'm feeling complicated. My feelings are complicated. It's so complicated that in fact, I changed my Facebook relationship status to it's complicated on Facebook. Progress in high school, the crush is starting to fade, but I will check on his like secret Facebook just once in a while, just to see if like anything new is going on. And I check senior year and I see he's updated his school. He is now attending the University of Bristol in a 40-person acting program. I say, interesting, I'm a senior applying to college. And I do a quick Google and I'm like, this is a good college. So I apply and I get in. And I say, how creepy will I be? You guys are nervous. You're nervous. I'm telling you, me too. And I go all the way to England. I check out the college. And we're walking around and I'm like, okay, 40% acting class. The likelihood he's going to marry me increasing. Then I decide, I'm not going to go to England. I said, no, that's maybe too creepy even for me. I go to school in the U.S. I moved to New York. I joined a sketch comedy group. He now is like winning BAFTAs, getting nominated for Emmys, and I'm doing comedy in New York City. So, is it bad that I did the creepiest stuff ever, or is it good because then I ultimately found comedy and my little favorite pals and took them to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival? That's the ultimate question.